Hello, this is Janelle Finn, Director of Curriculum. The purpose of this presentation is to provide you with information necessary for BEDS Day submission. You've already completed phase 1 of your BEDS Day submission, as I sent a previous email on October 4th, and prior to that, asking you to print out your rosters based on the kids associated with you back in October 4th. So all of those rosters that you saved will now be used in this next phase of the process. To provide you a general overview of how this works, there are 3 distinct components of BEDS. The first one is student data collection, which needs to be confirmed, which is due Thursday, November 30th. The second is the school BEDS collection, which is done by the principals, due to Janelle Finn after October 27th. And the third is the teaching and non-teaching professionals BEDS collection, which was formerly done through bubble sheets, is done through the TAA website, and it is due no later than Thursday, November 9th. Just to provide some additional information, the first leg is necessary to check and confirm student data. Sue Campa will be sending a packet to each of the buildings once I have this information from BOCES. The principal has designated a person who checks data at each of the buildings. This person will be receiving this data and need to confirm the included information. The sheet will look like this, along with other supporting document to complete this confirmation process. This person will need to check and confirm this information, making any changes in red. Please sign and date the report and send back the edited report November 30th, 2017 to my office. And again, this is an example of the form. The second component is done by the school building principals, and it's facilitated by me. The principals go to the Application Business Portal website, click on the IRS Data Exchange link, complete the necessary form, which is due on October 27th, which is an internal deadline. You will be able to print off a copy of the completed form from the website as you finish it. Please send me a hard copy of that completed form no later than October 31st. This is an example of the form the principals will be completing. The third component is the Teaching and Non-Teaching Professionals BEDS Collection, or EPMF. This collection replaces the bubble sheets from years gone by. Teaching and non-teaching professionals will need to access the TAA system, verify their data, save and submit this within the system. All of this must be completed by November 9th at the latest, which is an internal deadline. Just a reminder that this process is not TSDL, so please be sure that when you enter the TAA site, you choose the correct field when entering. Again, this is not TSDL. How this all works is that there's something called the district staff snapshot, which was loaded into the portal from Finance Manager. These have already been loaded, and the rest that have not will be finalized by October 20th. This information is taken directly into the TAA system from these sources, and you will need to access this information through the TAA site and confirm it's correct, while as also answering some additional questions. This website for the TAA will be open on October 30th, but please do not enter it on that date, as I have assigned dates for everybody to complete this collection process. On this slide, you will see 4 dates, one for each building. This is the date that this building will complete the BEDS completion process. So for example, November 1st is when Theodore Roosevelt teachers and non-teaching professionals will enter the site on this page, sign into the system, and complete and submit the form. On each of these days in your building, Tim Johnson will be present and there all day to be able to provide support. I encourage anyone who has to complete BEDS to go to Tim at some point during the day on the scheduled day, and he can help you enter your data and make sure you have the correct codes and information. People can submit it without Tim's support, but it's an option for those who would like support, need help, or have any questions. Just a reminder that the codes entered really need to be accurate. So if you have any questions on codes, please consult the 2 enclosed documents I will refer to later on, but also see Tim and he can assist you with this. Who completes EPMF? This is done by the people who provide direct educational instruction to students, the teachers. And then it also, for this year, needs to be done by non-teaching professionals. Some examples of non-teaching professionals are superintendents, business informal, principals, school psychologists, school counselors, nurses, social workers, and more. If you are unsure if you are to complete this, here is a list of the non-teaching assignment codes. Look through this and see if it describes you and then you would be considered a non-teaching assignment professional. Here is the teaching codes. This document's provided and has all of the codes on there for you to reference, which will be available for you as needed. So again, who completes the EPMF forms? The teaching, non-teaching professionals. Please consult those two documents I just referenced to see if you fall into those categories. Who should not complete the form? Long-term substitutes. If hired to fill a position for less than 90 days, and if you are not the teacher of record, do not complete this process. Per diem substitutes, teachers working exclusively with non-public school students, teacher aides, teaching assistants, teachers on leave of absence, and any district employee who works solely with parochial or non-public schools do not complete this process. In the past, people were given PINs to access the TAA account. This has changed in 2016-17 and will remain changed for 17-18. For the non-teaching professionals or teachers who currently have an active account, you will not need to do anything. Just on the designated day, sign in and follow the directions. But if you have an account but you can't recall your password, answer the security questions, or need to reset your password, you will have to consult the site for extra support. If you are a non-teaching professional, it's the first time you've ever done this, you will need to create a new account. This is an example of the site you will see when you log into the site. If you are a person who has an account but forgot your password and needs support, please see these areas here. I forgot my password, I forgot my username, or I need help with my account. And that will help you along your process to help you reset your account or your password. The tokens will be generated for teachers and non-teaching professionals who do not have an active TAA account or require an account reset. To be able to do this, go to the site I just referenced, complete step 1, which is your email address. Through your email, you will obtain a token and specific directions on how to create your account. You will need your Teach ID for this process, and all Teach IDs can be found in eSchool if you do not know yours. Again, here's an example of the site for people who are new and need an account. Please click on Create Account. The district has nothing to do with resetting passwords, creating new accounts. All of that must be done through this site. In advance of logging into the EPMF, be sure you know the following information: your TAA username and password, your degree status, your NCLB professional development. You will need to select yes or no on this particular question. You will select yes if you've had professional development during this current school year. NA pertains to first-year teachers, teachers on leave, and teachers with non-teaching assignments, and no if you have not received professional development this year. You also need to know the years in your district. This year counts as 1 year. Your total years employed, again, this year counts as a year. Your percent employed in the district and the months employed here. This year counts as 10 months for teaching professionals, 10 months for non-teaching professionals, and you'll also need to know your salary. Here's an example of what it would look like once you log in and the information that you need to confirm on the website. At the top here, you'll see your state ID, which can be found on eSchool, or your Teach ID, which can be found in eSchool and is labeled your state ID. Those numbers are the same and should be matching. Make sure this is filled in and accurate. In this middle section here, please select and answer the questions that are provided for you. In the third section here, this information should be preloaded. Please check it for accuracy and errors. If there's any mistakes, please email Janelle Finn and include Sue Kempa. For the location information, new teachers may see a district code, not a building code. These teachers should choose a building code from the drop-down menu. For teachers who work in more than one building in the district, please use the district code. The last part is the assignments. Here are the codes where you will reference the two sheets I provided you earlier, the non-teaching codes and teaching codes. I will provide you some information on the grades in a second, and this is where you will need those printed off rosters to be able to know the numbers of students per class. As far as grade level, if 75% or more of the students in the class are in one grade, choose that grade level. If less than 75% of the students in the class are from one grade, from any one grade level, enter an E for mixed elementary or an S for mixed secondary. Pre-K equals pre-kindergarten and K equals kindergarten. Again, that information is right here that you need to enter it. So this is where you will enter each of your codes, separate out your sections, and put the number of kids that you have in each of those sections. Some odd scenarios: teachers of half and quarter year courses should only report the number of students they are currently teaching on Beds Day and should not report the second semester or third, fourth quarter students. Here's some examples of codes that might help you. If you are an elementary teacher, it's a 2612 Common Branch code. Consultant teachers, please use the consultant teacher assignment codes provided for you. Again, consultant teachers work directly in the classroom, adapt the curriculum, and are assigned special education students. Library media special school librarians, enter code 7412, use mixed grade level and leave the registration blank. For any teacher that is a special areas teachers, music teacher, art, PE, or a teacher who teaches multiple sections of the same class, this pertains to you. Please be sure to separate the information. Report all the courses and classes you had on Beds Day and all through the A through G days during this current semester. Report as many classes as you can through the pull-down menu, capturing the various grade levels. If you teach 5 sections of the same class, each of those sections need to be entered separately. So if you teach 3 sections of 4th grade, or 2 sections of 4th grade, you have 25 in one and 31, they need to be entered separately. Please do not combine classes or registration. Here's codes for AIS. Again, these are all also provided in the codes documents. Once you have all this information is complete, you can click and use the Save button on the bottom of the electronic form. If you need more time, click Save and do not submit. Once you finalize all of your information, you do need to click Submit or it will not be entered. Just a reminder that teachers will not be able to edit after submitting, so please be sure to make sure it's accurate prior to submitting. Please remember to utilize Tim Johnson on your assigned Beds Day with any questions you may have, or if you're unable to get an answer to your question, please email Janelle Finn. I'm asking you to please check through all of the information provided, including the frequently asked questions document, all of the codes, and try to look through the resources provided to find answers to your questions before reaching out to my office. But feel free after checking all that if you still have questions, and you may also utilize Tim Johnson on the day he is assigned. At each of your buildings, I'm creating, there's a curriculum and PD shared on the share drive. Within that folder, I'm putting a BEDS folder, which has this PowerPoint and all necessary documentation, including frequently asked questions and the teacher codes. Some information on teach accounts if you need additional information. Please consult that folder on the curriculum and PD drive. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.